Hey, you guys, welcome to the Love Nest.
Why don't you come on back home to my love nest?
Love is not real.
I don't think so. We're confirming all rumors on the Love Nest. Okay, so this is a serious question. At Miss Ultra Kev 9 says, discuss how to combat the sexual frustrations when saving yourself for marriage.
Oh,
What would you do? How would you do?
That's tough.
I think my advice would be a little different than ShayCarl's and Katilette.
What's your
I would
Why
say
would your advice
refrain,
be?
and you guys would say go just take care of
Right.
it. You go
No,
and
I
take
wouldn't.
care of it.
So when Colette and I were dating, I, as a natural male with testosterone and needs,
A natural. He's natural
All
male.
natural.
All natural
He's
male.
not a fake one.
she wouldn't let me make out with her. She was a strong one. It's tough. Like if that's a decision that you're gonna make, that you're not gonna, if
Yeah.
you're in a serious relationship and you know that you're gonna get married, that's especially when it gets hard. When we were engaged, here's like I'll give you a little insight to like one experience. When so we had just
I don't
gotten
know
in-
what he's gonna say. I'm a little nervous.
I brought a PowerPoint presentation here. If you'll turn to the first slide.
Don't say anything too revealing.
I'll draw a picture. No, just kidding. When we first, so we dated for how
I don't
long
know
did we
what's
date?
going
We
on.
dated for like a year or so, and we took it
15
slow.
months.
We dated for probably 2 months before we even kissed for the first time. And that was because like she she had like this
was
boyfriend,
wishy-washy.
and she didn't know. But tell them about our first kiss, real quick.
Oh,
Was it? I think I remember that night. You dropped me off at a sleepover, and then you guys kind of broke up.
no, that
night.
was a
that
different
not
night.
it? Okay.
That was a different night. No, our first kiss was like I feel bashful. It was like the most amazing kiss I've ever had. Like ever.
Us butlers, we know how to kiss.
And I think it was just because we waited so long and I'd already had feelings for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made the first kiss that much more like special.
Yeah.
I feel like if I didn't know where my feelings were and we kissed, then it would be like, oh, that was cool. Oh crap, I'm really committed now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
totally.
because then you just get nervous. Because once you get physical, then your relationship jumps. I feel
Yeah,
like to the next
definitely.
level. So
So we always
we were already.
there's this like pyramid of like sexualness and friendship, and like the peak of the pyramid is sex, and the bottom, like the base, the bigger portion is relationship, like getting to know the person, get to know like simple things like their
Yeah.
likes and dislikes, what their religious beliefs are, all those things that make a big difference, how they handle money, what they want to believe in about families, and like all that kind of stuff. If you want to have a serious relationship, you have to build all that out at the bottom, and then you work up towards, and the top, the peak of that relationship is sex, and it's like that's like the pinnacle, like.
But the second layer is marriage, and then sex.
Well, I'm just saying,
Or-
like you gotta build
It's a
those base
progression.
things, and if you flip that pyramid upside down and you have sex first without knowing all those other base things, it's gonna tip over, ladies and gentlemen. It's not
Hard to tell ya.
gonna have a sure foundation. So we were good with that. Like it was hard for me because we'd be in the car and I'd say goodbye to her at the end of the night, and it'd be like. We'd kiss, and then
Dark,
I'd be like,
romantic
oh, just kiss me a little bit more, and then it's like I'd try to like, oh, the stick shifts
then
in
I'd
the way,
punch him.
and she'd be like,
I'd
no,
punch him in
Shay,
the
we gotta
face.
stop. But then the story I was gonna tell, the hardest part is when we got engaged and we knew we were gonna get married, and this was probably like 2 weeks before we were gonna get married. That's like the hardest time. If anybody's ever been in this situation, you know what I'm saying. We went to look at apartments, and we found this apartment that we're gonna
What
get.
are you gonna tell her?
I'm not gonna tell him everything, you little hussy.
What happened?
Anyway,
Like, what's
It's
going
me.
on?
I want to know.
and 50,000 other
No
people.
one's gonna see this.
So we went and got this apartment, and it was like we were all by ourselves in this apartment, and it was like this was gonna be our apartment as we were married, and we were looking around, and we're like, oh, we'll put the couch here,
exciting.
and then we're just like hanging out, because like it was our apartment, we'd like sign the lease and stuff.
They left you guys there alone.
Yeah, like it was ours, like we got it. It was just like
Yeah, it was already
right,
ours. We just weren't married yet.
It was
Oh,
like
okay,
right
gotcha.
before because we figured we want to have the apartment so that like once we get married we can move in and go to, and we were going to school and stuff. And I just remember like we were there like laying on the carpet, and it was like in the front room, and it was like
snap.
we're
You
making
know,
out kind of, It's like this is our apartment, like we're gonna get married in a couple weeks, and it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Like that.
And
Sucks to be a boy. You have to wear it on your sleeve.
but I was glad that we waited, because we did. We were strong, and we definitely, I didn't even see her. That's another thing too. Is
I didn't even see her Transit.
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful like how much, because Colette doesn't like. We don't like to talk about that a lot. Like that's like even in the vlogs, in our daily vlogs, like you only in the last 4 years and 1,500 videos, there's probably only like maybe 4 or 5 times where you see us kiss on camera, and it's not like we don't like to kiss. We love it, but it's like that kind of stuff is private for us. Like we cherish that as like a couple, and like that's not something that we like to share with.
They're so in love.
Yeah.
So great. Well, I think that's important.
I have rose petals in my mouth.
Well, you were eating roses and gum.
Right.
I think the way things are going, especially with just the world and how everything is so, I feel like on demand all the time, I think that also comes with a relationship and then obviously sex. On one of my earlier episodes, we were talking about virginity and losing your virginity, and something that I just like kept thinking and wanting to say was, it doesn't have to be like a time crunch or a time limit. I feel like my best advice for this guy was like, just wait. It's worth the wait. And especially when you combine love and sex. Like when you combine those two elements, it just changes the whole dynamic of a relationship. And I think that the pyramid is just exactly a right thing. Like these one night stands that are like shown and they look so glamorous. Like how awkward is that you wake up in the morning and you have like a booger or your makeup smeared, or you have a zit, and you just gave every personal part of your body to this person. Like there's no way you can wake up feeling confident and comfortable being like, we just did the, and then trying to build like, well, what's your favorite color? What do your parents do? So I agree the pyramid is an important part. So what would your advice be though as a guy for the sexual frustration? Take a walk, go lift.
Go exercise.
Yeah.
Go running. I mean, you can control that. Like a lot of, like it sucks today in society. It's like, why should you try to hold back those urges? Like just give your body what it craves.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that because it'll mess you up. Like people don't realize that. It will mess you up mentally. And a lot of people like to deny that fact. It's like, I just have whatever I want whenever I want. And that's a horrible, horrible attitude to have because you have to control those things. Because if you're not able to control yourself, you're not gonna be able to control a lot of things like anger. You're not gonna be able to control like your spending.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to tell yourself no. I feel like we are more than just our skin and bones, and this kind of gets on a spiritual level, but I really believe that we exist after the flesh passes away, and the flesh and the spirit are kind of always fighting against each other. And you kind of have to tell your body no. It's just like, food, you have to say no. Because your body wants to keep eating and eating and eating, but it's not good for you. It feels good at the time, but in the long run, it's a bad deal for your body.
There's something to be said about having willpower, and that's something that, when I've always just wanted to wait until I was married. I would have been taught that you should wait. And going back to the pyramid thing, it's just so important because if you really want a lasting, meaningful relationship, you have to build it that way.
Yeah, and that's what everybody wants. I mean, at the core of everybody, sorry, hit my mic. At the core of everybody, I mean, that really is the dream. Like a happy family with a house and the white picket fence. That's the true happiness. That's really, we have it, babe. We have that true happiness. And you can't build that on one night stands. There's no way that'll ever, and some people might have, got through it, but, you're stacking the odds against you if you think that you can go out and have like these one night stands and just do whatever you want and then have a lasting relationship, because it'll never happen that way.
It'd be interesting to see a couple who had met in a bar, whatever, one night stand, and who eventually got married, but it'd be interesting to compare kind of their life and their struggles and their arguments and those little things with yours, and just to see, because like you're saying, it could potentially work, but I feel like you might be digging, it might be a harder progression for you to be able to come together as a couple when you've put that big thing in your relationship so soon, so quickly. It might be harder to, you might just have bigger trials, I feel like is what I'm trying to say. But
and let me just give us some advice for the chicks out there. The dudes are horny. I'm telling you what, man.
True.
You gotta say no, ladies. And I mean, I'm not dissing on guys, because like guys should be responsible for themselves. But don't think that you can just wear whatever you want and like guys aren't gonna be like constantly like,
guys are about the physical.
I've been in the locker
like
rooms, like dudes want to have sex with girls a lot. So don't be naive, ladies. I'm just saying, like, don't be naive.
Guys are very physical, and especially in a marriage. That's why like there's like lingerie and candles, and there's a sense
There's a
of,
place for that. I was having this talk with Suntard. I mean, our 9-year-old son the other day. I was like, I was telling him, we had like a little sex talk, and I said, what are your friends at school talking about sex?
Oh
And,
gosh, that's so young.
I mean, but you got to, like with
They're
today's
talking about it
society,
so
I mean, they're
early.
already talking about it. And I told him, I said, sex is great. Like, I love having sex with your mom. And I said, do you know why you have sex? And he said, it's to make babies. I said, well, yeah, we make babies, but we have sex just because it feels good. He liked that explanation because it was like, but I told him, I said, but I saved that for your mom. Like, I waited and I wanted it to be with a person that I knew I was going to be with forever and that I loved. And it's okay to have sex, but it has to be in the right way with the right person. So it's not
agree.
like sex is bad, because sex is awesome. I love it.
We condone
If I
sex.
wasn't here, I'd probably be having sex right now. But I'm just saying, you have to do it in the right parameters or it will mess you up. Your pyramid will fall over.
It'll
Trust me.
up. So to segue, that's kind of interesting into Centard and kids and what they're talking about. I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about technology with kids and how you feel about that. You know, being in the school system, before I was doing this, you know, you guys, I was substitute teaching and working in school, and it seemed like they were trying to cut off cell phones from kids. They didn't want any of that in the school, and now they're actually trying to pass it where kids can have their phones in class. And you know, when I'm in the high school, every single teenager has their phone out, they're texting, they're doing whatever. And it's like, I feel like that's where a lot of the problems are going with kids and knowing about things so
Right.
quickly, is because of technology and like them, you know. So how are you going to gauge when it's appropriate for your kids to have phones and, you know, the advancement of all of that?
I think with our kids, one thing that will be definitely for sure in our home is that we're very involved. Like if they have a Twitter, we're gonna be following in them and we're gonna know what they're saying all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like we are right now teaching our kids as well how to act online, like teaching them that you're the same person offline as you are on the internet, and you have to keep that the same. Like don't try to hide stuff, don't try to go behind people's backs or your parents' backs, because you're gonna be out there. And our kids, I feel like they know that a little bit more than most kids probably do, just because
They're
they are
educated and they see you guys doing
online.
that.
Yeah, and say, you know, if you're gonna act this way, do you want everybody to know it that way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What you put on Facebook, everyone's gonna
right,
know about.
exactly.
One thing I was thinking about the other day that kind of scared me about technology is growing up, I didn't have the computer, I didn't have the internet. And the internet is a great source of information, obviously. Like anything and everything is on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Because if you think about all the bad things in the world, as a kid, for me growing up, and for people that didn't have the internet growing up, you didn't know about all those other bad things that were out there because you just didn't have, you know, you weren't,
Access.
yeah, you don't have access to them. But now with the internet, it's like any bad thing or bad song or any of that temptation or something is right there on the screen because it
Yeah.
all comes, you know, to the internet. So that scares me, you know, with our kids. I feel like we'll definitely have rules. Like you can have a phone, you can have a computer, but I don't feel like we'll let them have computers in
Yeah.
their room. I feel like if you want to be on the computer, you can. We'll have it right there in the family room, in the kitchen, where everybody can see, and you can get on the
Definitely.
computer. Just like last night when we went out to dinner, I realized, like, you know, you and Kaylee and me and like everybody's
We
on
were
their
all
phones.
on our phones.
We're like, hey,
It's
how's
like-
your dinner? Mine's great. How's yours?
It's just like we were talking about earlier. Like you got to tell yourself no. Sometimes you just say, I'm going to put my phone away and I'm going to interact. Like you have to
Yeah.
be able to say, because it's very addicting. Like I even have set it like a new personal goal because like I hate that the first thing I do when I wake up is like email, Twitter. Like I start checking the
Totally.
phone.
You
It's
have a
like
checklist,
you
like-
have to like tell yourself no because it can become very addictive and it's like you're constantly. It's like too much. You know.
Too much. One
And
thing. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I
Paper,
love
rock,
your
scissors.
advice. Ready? Go.
We did
now I
paper,
forgot
rock,
what I was
scissors
going to
last
say, so
night
you go.
to see who would take Zeke
Take
out to
Zeke
go
out.
to
I
the
I
bathroom.
would have taken him.
You were. It was 1 a.m.
I would have taken
One
him.
in the morning, and we're in bed going like this, and we couldn't see. So I was like, "What are you? You paper? You
know, you
scissors?
win.
Scissors." And I lost. I lost 3 in a row.
Zeke, I'll take him. I think coaching cheerleaders, I saw like different parents handle things differently. And now following those girls, I'll like read some of their tweets. I'm like, your parents do not know you have a Twitter because
Yep.
the things they say. I really like how you said you
Right.
need to be like the same. You need to be the same person that you are online that you are off. And sometimes there's like a pressure to like gain followers, gain eyes, gain viewers, and it's like, what lines are you willing to cross and able to do that? But I feel like it can be done in the right way. Something I like is there's some cell phone companies that you can turn on texting and texting at certain times. Like
Certain
you can
times,
turn it
yeah.
on at 9 a.m. You can turn it off at 9 p.m. Like
Yeah.
who needs to be texting my son past 9 o'clock p.m.? Not you girls. You'll be turned
Right.
off. I like that.
And I think what we will do with our kids is be very, very open and honest about the dangers, why we don't want you to do this, why we want you to do this. You know what I mean? Very, very open, so they know about like cyberbullying and putting yourself out there too much and, texting during school. Like, don't.
Don't. Stop.
Put your phone away.
I think that sometimes kids don't want to talk to their parents about things because it's uncomfortable. Like, I can't say penis to my dad. That's so weird. But if you've already opened those gates and they already feel like this is a comfortable, safe conversation environment, then they'll be like, today at school, this guy showed me his thing and I don't know what to do. Then you can give them.
What?
That happened to me when
it happens on like pictures.
We're getting cool. When I was in middle school, I got my first Nokia block cell phone when I was like in 9th grade. I remember my senior year, I went home and I was going through my pictures, like I had just gotten a picture phone, and Mom had talked to me like, you can take pictures of anything, but I'm gonna go through it, so be careful. And I'm not even kidding, I was going through and there was a picture of a guy's thingy on my phone, and I like closed my phone. I was like so upset, but I was like, if Mom knows everything, so I had to just go tell her, and so I just handed her my phone. I was like, you need to look at those pictures on my phone. She was like, is that a penis? Who took a picture of a penis on your phone? And I like started crying because I felt so guilty, like she was gonna get mad.
Whose was it?
I don't know, still to this day.
Like one of your friends just took it?
Did they send it to you or they just took your phone?
I had a boyfriend and he wanted to borrow my phone, but I don't think it was him. But he went to lunch with a group of guys, so I'm like wondering. But it was so funny. Later that night, I felt like after I had told Mom, like I was willing to tell her, we went grocery shopping. This was kind of perverted. And she picked up a cucumber and a zucchini. She's like, did it look more like this or more like this, Carlie? I was like, Mom. So I was glad I told her because I felt like because I was honest, she wasn't upset with me. Not that it was my fault, but I still felt like,
what did I do?
That's one thing we've told our kids is just like tell us anything. Like and me and Katilette have had the conversation where it's like we need to be ready for them to tell us.
We need to be ready not to freak out.
Not to freak out, not to be like, what? You did what? Yeah. Because then they don't trust you. Then
like,
they
I'm
won't
not
tell you
anything.
You know what I mean?
That's good. I like it. Laid out there. Okay, so thinking about technology, children, tell us about your documentary. How's that going?
It's good.
We're actually starting.
We're starting to film in a couple. When is this going up? That's probably we've already started filming. But yeah, my 4-year anniversary. We've been vlogging every day for 4 years.
It's amazing.
Start
crazy. 4 years of your life.
Year 5.
Every moment.
It's crazy to go back. In 6 days from now, when I uploaded the vlog on March 6th, I'll be able to go back and see what I was doing 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years
Same
ago.
March 6th.
Yeah, like what was I doing on this exact day
Your
4 years
birthday's
ago?
coming up.
5 days. I hope you have a
March
present
5th.
for me.
It's awesome.
Wish me happy birthday. Subscribe to me and stuff for a present.
And stuff.
But yeah, we're excited. We have a bunch of interviews lined up. Corey and his team from Apprentice A are up in San Bruno, California right now interviewing some executives at YouTube. We have a bunch of YouTubers that we're going to be interviewing.
That's cool.
And we're going to have cameras at Playlist Live and VidCon.
It'll be huge. Cool. It's a big part. The viewers supporting you guys and loving you as much as they do is a huge part. So if you could sum it up like in a, what is a documentary to you guys, what would you say?
Well, a lot of people think it's going to be just a ShayCarl documentary, but it's not. It's going to be just like all of us, like how YouTube and how we came to where we're at, and other people's stories as well.
Like I have like an idea of what I want it to be, but in my mind, like I feel like I don't know exactly what this documentary is going to turn into.
We gotta let it organically
maybe kind of evolve as you go.
As we get, because as you like interview different YouTubers and stuff, it's like, whoa, this is the story we need to tell.
Like, take a turn.
The basic concept is like I just want to like tell the story of how this became not only our job, but like your job and Casey's job and the 8 people that are in here. It's their job. It's like this internet world. Now you can get jobs doing this. And it started for us about 5 years ago, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like, people know about YouTube because everybody knows about YouTube, but people don't know that you can like make money on YouTube, and that there's this new stage, there's this new place to put your content, and there's a lot of entertainment and very talented people, actors, actresses, comedians, musicians, vloggers.
And I think not only that, but how much it's changed our life. Like, it's not just like a job; it's a calling. Like, I feel like
to me, it's the American dream, like
and
sorry, I keep interrupting you, like usual.
You're fine. You're fine, go ahead.
I don't even know what I was going to say, babe. I'm so sorry.
American dream.
It's American dream. Because people want to start their own businesses, but this is I told Katilette like a couple years ago, it's like, can you believe that like this is our job? That if I would have told you a couple years ago when I was working 60 hours a week at the granite shop, getting up at 6 a.m. and not getting home till 6:30. Yeah, I mean, I worked 12 hours a day doing manual labor, lifting rocks for you know 3 years before we
And now
started
you
doing
have a
this.
house where those countertops are.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So it's, and I've always believed in that. I always believed that like you didn't have to accept like just going to a job that you hated. Like that was a hope within me that I always never let die. That's like, I don't have to get up and go to a job that I hate every day. Like
Yeah.
what's life worth living if you hate where you go every day? And so I always believed, and I didn't know what it was gonna be, but I just always had that hope, like I'm gonna find something that I can do that I love and that I can
Yeah.
get paid for. And I'm not gonna live a life where I hate my job and hate what I do.
Well, and that fits you. And I feel like maybe you have felt this as a wife, a little frustration from your husband going from job to different job to job. Like, Shay,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
he gonna settle on? Like,
Totally.
there's a sense of security when your husband has a good job and you can kind of see it playing out. But you know, you were a bus driver and a DJ and you installed granite and you tried to do real estate. And I mean, and then, you know, I agree. I think you not fell, but you like evolved into your life dream. And now you're blessing so many people just being who you are. And isn't that awesome that you're just awesome and you can just be awesome?
I love being awesome. No, I've always, because like when I was, you know, going through all those careers, Colette was super patient because it was like, I'm gonna do this job. And then we moved. How many times did we move?
I felt like it never bothered me though because
Oh, stop being so perfect.
But I wanted to
Stop
see
being
him
so
happy,
awesome.
and everything that he was doing, I could just see there wasn't the passion
you're
that
lucky.
he had for me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wanted to see the passion in his eyes
So
for
you were
his
willing
job and
to
for his
see it
career as he did for his family, and he wasn't getting that. And so I was like, just keep going. And I think the reason I felt that way is because my dad didn't get to do that. Like he kind of inherited a family business, and his passion was music, which he has excelled at, but I think that he could have, if he maybe went a different path, he could have been even more successful with his passion.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I was just like, you're gonna find what you want and what is your passion, and I'm gonna follow you because that's what you need. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have that in life. Everybody, like, you have to have a passion that you're working towards and something that makes you happy every day, or you're gonna give up.
Yeah. You guys are very inspiring.
sister.
I'm grateful you were here. Thank you for stopping by the Love Nest Part 2. These guys were awesome. Love you guys.
We love you.
Love them.
We love the Love Nest.
Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week on the Love Nest. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Try harder. Blow harder.
Dang it.
Please like, share, and subscribe these Love Nest videos. Give me ideas for who you'd like to see as future guests. And we will see you next week, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love your butts. Bye.